How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Rads. Let's talk about that game, shall we? 2-2 draw with Brighton today. For Nottingham Forest, on the balance of play, it's probably a fair result. But far from just a box standard draw, there was plenty of chaos involved and drama. So let's dissect it, shall we? Quick reminder, if you could please hit the like button and subscribe to Rads if you're new to the channel, that would be fantastic. But of course, the game, the lineup, we saw two changes. Hudson-Odoi and Elanga coming in. It was questionable as to whether we should have stayed with the same team that beat Liverpool, at least the same sort of shape and approach. We seem to be a lot more attacking and front foot, which is good. It shows that we were confident and actually wanted to show some ambition and drive rather than just sitting back like we did against Liverpool, which was totally the right thing to do. But having beaten Liverpool, it's like, okay, let's go and try and win this game a bit more front foot from the get-go. And even though it's only a penalty, I think we were more than a credit for the lead. And can I just say how rare it is that we get penalties? Extremely rare, especially when Rob Jones is in charge. That makes it even more funny that we actually got a penalty. But we got one finally. And correct me if I'm wrong, I actually think the last time we got a penalty before that game was against Brighton the season before, in that home game where we lost 3-2. I think it may have been. Might be wrong. We weren't particularly amazing or anything, but we looked more than a credit for our lead and were withstanding Brighton pretty well. But we knew that they were going to come onto us and make life difficult for us, and they did, because every time they came forward, they were definitely going to get more confident, and they did. And we didn't really handle it all that well, because as I had more attacks, we kind of really just, went into our shell too much and weren't putting enough pressure on Brighton either. So this made life quite difficult for us in the end. We just were, in a way, all at sea, not really putting anywhere near enough pressure on Brighton. And we've seen that far too many times, especially in away games, that we invite pressure too much and we probably don't need to. They put a ball into the box and that completely dismantles seemingly everything for about 20 odd minutes, because after that we just couldn't do a thing. Couldn't get out our own half. It was just Brighton domination. And it was a good header. I'm not going to take credit away from that, but it was totally unmarked as well. So you can't really be too happy from a Forest point of view when nobody was on him the entire time, and then especially the way we reacted after that, conceding a very good free kick. But again, Matt Sell's positioning very questionable. It reminded me a bit of Matt Turner against Brentford, when there was a free kick and there was a blatant gap and it was obvious to just shoot through the gap. It was basically the same thing here for Danny Welbeck. Great goal, but could have been potentially saved or prevented if Sells was in a better position, and by the time he even saw the ball be lined up to be shot, it went past him. So it wasn't great, that at all. And then we make 3 changes at half time, which is very radical, but I rate it. But it didn't really work at first, at the very least, because it was just Brighton domination. We could have easily been more than 2-1 down. And I think even though this was by far the worst period we've had of the whole season, it was like, okay, that wasn't good, but we didn't lose the game. We still managed to find a way to get a point in the end, but also not concede any more. We still seemed to have just enough in us to, ride the wave, and manage to get a brilliant counter-attacking goal. Very unselfish from Jota Silva, who came on at half-time along with Yates and Nico Williams. And Roman Sosa as well, getting his first goal in English football. And I'm really pleased for him to get that. It's so refreshing as well to have 2 wingers besides Anthony Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi now that can actually make an impact. Last season, all that pressure on those 2. So it's so good to have those 2, and they both seem really, really, neat, tidy, very exciting players that I'm looking forward to seeing more. But I've delayed talking about this for long enough. The red card for Gibbs White. So Rob Jones is not most popular when it comes to Nottingham Forest after that Willy Bolly sending off at Christmas last year. That was an amazing tackle from Willy Bolly, really good, fair tackle, and he was sent off. I think that was blatantly obvious that was the case. I thought it was a fair tackle, and first things foremost, Morgan Gibbs White wins the ball. Isn't that the aim of a tackle, to win the ball? You don't want to be taking the player out, but you win the ball. That's the ultimate goal of a tackle. However, because it may be seen as a bit reckless as well, because it was from behind, already on a booking. Ultimately, he did take João Pedro off his feet. I think Pedro was potentially injured. I don't know if he was making a meal of it or not, but I can see to a point why a booking was given, because it was a bit reckless. But he won the ball ultimately, and that is the entire aim. So therefore, I don't think you should book him. But the fact that he was already on a booking, I just feel like it was incredibly harsh to send him off when he won the ball. Just I want to say that again, and also remind Rob Jones that he actually said this himself, did a very clear hand gesture after that tackle happened, that Gibbs White won the ball. You can even see him mouthing it. You can see him saying it, that he won the ball. And yet, the next thing you know, seemingly with Brighton influence and Anthony Taylor in his ear probably, suddenly it's now a red card and he's off. And we've lost our best player for 3 games. Also, now our manager's been sent off, and we'll miss Nuno for the next game as well. The Brighton manager being sent off too. Rui Silva, our coach, also getting a yellow card. He's going to be the manager next week, or the one on the touchline. Yeah, just really, really frustrating. Another moment from Rob Jones that's going to make Forest fans hate him. For me, he is by far the worst referee in the Premier League, and there's a lot of options. But even though that happened, we managed to get a point. Even though the second half was very uncomfortable for us. We were under the cosh 90% of the time, with the odd breakaway towards the end of the game. We could have won it with Sosa at the end as well. To then get a red card, I didn't even mention we brought Morato on as well after we equalised. It's like we were that under the cosh that just thought, okay, let's just stay out this game and get a point. We did that, but it wasn't straightforward because we went down to 10 men. So a fair point, 100%, more than deserved, but not at all lacking any controversy. Get your thoughts in the comments below, everybody, about this game. And yes, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And yeah, probably a fair point overall. Thanks for watching. Up the Reds.